Shalom to the nation of Israel. This is Barazal coming in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of the great millstone and to the hopeful elect push his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. This is going to be a quick one, but an important one nonetheless. We are in the so-called New Year right now, right? Year 2022. Yahweh we're out of here this year, right? But I'm going to talk about sickness because there's going to be a lot of sicknesses and plagues that are going to be coming up this year. If you thought it was bad, if you thought last year was bad, this year's going to be worse, right? But the elect have nothing to worry about. So Deuteronomy 7:15, and the Lord Yahweh will take away from thee all sickness and put none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which thou knowest, upon thee, but will lay them upon all them that hate thee. Right? So everyone that hates, the Israelites, first and foremost, but then the hopeful elect, everyone that hates the hopeful elect, they're going to get the diseases and the sicknesses, right, of Egypt, right? So they're going to get those diseases. And that's only one example. It even goes into more where it talks about the ones that we don't know. Right, so you can see people that are getting sick with this so-called sickness, which is real. Like Esau did release sicknesses out there, but notice like certain men, the majority of the hopeful elect are not getting sick. Right, they're not getting sick and dying, which is interesting. Right, it's very interesting. It's through faith, because you believe. For myself, like at first I didn't even think Esau was releasing something. I thought it was just all a hoax, which it is, but Esau is Esau. He will actually release actual stuff and kill people off because at the same time he wants to reduce the population anyways, right? So Deuteronomy 30:7, and the Lord Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies. So our enemies, right? You see 2/3 getting sick. See the other nations getting sick. You even see Edomites getting sick, right? But not the hopeful elect. Hopeful elect are not getting sick. And if they do get sick, like they what's the word I'm looking for? They bounce back from it. They might be sick for a couple of days, and that's about it. Then they're good. You just take your herbs. You eat well. Eat some fruits, and you're good. And on them that hate thee, which persecute thee, right? So, like, if we thought 2021 was bad, if you thought until, like, from 2019 to 2021 was bad, it's going to get worse. Like, these plagues are going to get worse. A lot worse. Like, people are going to be dropping like flies, right? So we go to Deuteronomy 28 and 58. Okay, Deuteronomy 28-58. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, thy Yahweh thy power, then the Lord Yahweh will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance. So plague doesn't just necessarily mean like you get sick. It also means like you go through some hard times, like bad times, like, you like famine of food, you don't have water, you don't have food, you don't have shelter. You start losing you lose your job, we lose money. So that's another example, like losing jobs, right? The hopeful elect, they might have lost a job in one scenario, but then the Most High gives them another job, right? Or the Most High gives them ways to make money, to take care of themselves during this whole ordeal that the whole world is going through. Right? But other people that are not in the truth, the heathens, and heathens just includes the 2/3 also, they're going through it. Some of them don't have jobs, some of them are not working, some of them are they're struggling because they don't trust in the Lord. It's very simple. So plagues doesn't just necessarily mean like you're sick, right? But I wanted to start off with that, but because that's kind of like the main thing that's happening right now is this sickness that's going around. But that does include those things too, right? Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. So these people are going to get sick, or the point where they can't, like, it doesn't matter what they do, what type of, how many shots they get, right? They're gonna be sick and stay sick. And also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord Yahweh bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. So the Most High Yahweh Shem Shai is going to send all his plagues till it destroys these people, whether it's like actual sickness and disease, whether it's like, getting attacked by a bear, whether it's like, you're losing your job, whether you're homeless, whether you don't have nothing to eat, right? Right, so now we're going to go to Daniel. I'm trying to make this quick. We got camp tomorrow. We got camp on the so-called New Year's Day. So it's going to be very interesting. Daniel's 9:9. To the Lord our power belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord Yahweh our power, to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants the prophets. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of Yahweh, because we have sinned against him. Right, so that's why we were going through it. That's why we went into slavery. That's why we went into captivity. That's why we're on the bottom. That's why it explains everything. But now these plagues or these curses are being poured onto everyone else, and it's being taken off of us. Right, it's being transferred. And he hath confirmed his word, which he spake against us and against our judges that judge us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem. Right? So the last one, Ezekiel 9:4. Ezekiel 9:4. And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Right? And the only ones that are going to get that mark, which it means, I know what it means, but let's just do it so you can see. It's not the same mark in Revelation.
Strong's H8420. Tav.
Desire, mark as a sign of exemption from judgment. So it's a mark of exemption, right? So exemption from what? From this destruction, from everything that's coming. So that's why the hopeful elect are not going through the same things everyone else is going through. They're not in hardship of like losing their job or I should say losing their job and not getting another job, right? Right, not having money, not having food to eat, not having water to drink, not having shelter, getting sick, That stuff is not happening to the hopeful elect because Yahweh Shem Shai has put a mark upon their foreheads to protect them. Meanwhile, everyone else is going to get destroyed. And it's the same mark, it's the same example of the mark that was put on the houses back in Egypt. When Yahweh Shai, which was the death angel, when he was passing over Egypt, right? Hence why it's called the Passover. Right, they had to put the mark on their houses to show who. It was basically a mark of exemption from judgment, and who got judged. The everyone else that didn't have that mark. Right, but that back then was just for Israel. Now he's even being more exclusive, and now it's just for the elect of Israel. Right, because the 2/3 have to go. Anyways, that was a lesson, just a quick and important one. But you can see, like, if you really look at our situation, like everyone else is really going through it. We're going through it in our lots, but compared to everyone else, we're getting mercy. It's because we're serving Yahweh Shem Shai. So, it should be a faith booster to keep you pushing and growing in the truth, because we're almost out of here. Anyways, hope this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. Kwame Yasharella, Abad Babal, Shalom.